G'day everyone, Mitch Williams here for HFNL Media. Big weekend of finals was had. We are down to the second last week of the season and I'll take a look at all the weekend's action in this report. First in footy, we head out to Terang for the second semi-final between South Warrnambool and North Warrnambool at the Terang Rec Reserve. South Warrnambool have booked themselves a ticket to the big dance for the first time since 2011 after winning by a convincing 43 points. The Eagles jumped out to an early lead in the first quarter by 3 goals, but the Roosters fought back hard in the second quarter, kicking 6 goals to none, having a 19-point lead at half-time. They kicked a further 3 in the third quarter while holding North to just 1, extending their lead to 32 points at three-quarter time. The fourth quarter seen a similar outcome with the Roosters kicking another 3 goals and the Eagles just the 1 to send South Warrnambool through to the grand final. Dan Nicholson was best on ground with his performance through the middle and also adding a goal to the scoreboard. Ollie Bridgewater had a lot of influence through the ruck and Archie Stevens also had a big impact in his return game. Shannon Becks was South Warrnambool's highest goal scorer, kicking 3 while Max Irving slotted 2 as well. North Warrnambool's backline saw a fair bit of the ball and their best player Jared Lewis had his hands on it a lot. Jack Johnston and Bailey Jenkinson also featured in their better players while Dylan Parrish was their only multiple goal scorer, kicking 2. North Warrnambool will have a second chance at getting into the grand final this weekend when they play off in the prelim final. Out to Port Fairy now for the first semi-final between Terang Mortlake and Cobden. The Bloods fight on and advanced to the prelim final after beating the Bombers by 22 points. Terang Mortlake had a good head start at the end of the first term, leading by 17 points, but the Bombers fought back hard in the second to go into the halftime break, leading by 1 point. The Bloods came out hunting in the third term, outscoring the Bombers and took an 18-point lead into the final term. They continued this momentum into the fourth term and kept the Bombers at bay and led at the final siren, advancing to the prelim final. Terang Mortlake spearhead Will Kane continues his great season, kicking a bag of 5 to help his side get the win. Captain Joe Arundel also had a huge impact with a best on ground performance. Cobden's Jack Hammond and Brody Marnie were 2 of Cobden's better players while kicking 2 each, while Ben Berry was their other multiple goal scorer, kicking 2 as well. Terang Mortlake will play North Warrnambool this Saturday in the prelim final for a chance at advancing to the grand final. Bloods player Kane Johnson had this to say after the game.
North are a good side. We only lost by 5 points on last time, so if we can just recover well, and we've got some good boys out there, so if we can just recover well, we'll be right.
Over to the netball now and heading back to Terang where South Warrnambool and Cobden duked it out for a spot in the grand final. South Warrnambool have booked themselves into the grand final for the second year in a row after an impressive 24-goal win over Cobden. Holly Phillips shot 55 goals to help them advance. Back out to Port Fairy now where it was a do-or-die for Croy and Warrnambool. Croy managed to get the win by a narrow 8 goals, advancing through to the prelim. Molly McKinnon shot 25 of their goals while Nell Mitchell shot 19. The Saints advance to the prelim final against Cobden now for a chance at a grand final berth. And that's all from me, everyone. I look forward to Friday's preview of this weekend's prelim action.